Alright, picture this. India and China, the powerhouses of Asia, are not just in a race for economic supremacy, but are also vying for the top spot in the startup ecosystem. Despite global economic challenges, these two countries have emerged as the second and third largest startup ecosystems in the world, right behind the United States. With a combined population exceeding 2.8 billion people, they offer massive domestic markets, thriving middle classes, and a skilled workforce. Both countries have unique advantages and face distinct challenges. So, which one has the edge? Strap in as we dive deep into the epic showdown between India and China's startup ecosystems. Welcome to the AI Lib. China's journey from the world's factory to a global tech powerhouse is nothing short of extraordinary. This transformation began in the late 20th century when the Chinese government initiated economic reforms that opened up the country to global markets. The 1990s saw the rise of internet usage, which laid the groundwork for a tech revolution. By the early 2000s, tech giants like Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent, collectively known as BAT, started emerging. Baidu, China's answer to Google, revolutionized the search engine space. Alibaba disrupted e-commerce, and Tencent's WeChat became the ultimate super app, integrating social media, messaging, and financial services. The Chinese government played a crucial role by creating a favorable environment for these startups to flourish. Policies like the open door policy encouraged foreign investment and business activities in China. Additionally, the establishment of numerous startup incubators and accelerators helped nurture early-stage companies. The government also set up special economic zones that provided tax benefits and infrastructure support, making it easier for startups to scale. Moreover, the influx of venture capital into China's tech scene was phenomenal. In 2021 alone, Chinese startups raised a staggering $130.6 billion in venture capital, 3 times more than their Indian counterparts. This capital influx was critical in enabling Chinese startups to innovate and expand rapidly. As a result, China's tech ecosystem grew exponentially, producing globally influential companies and solidifying its position as a tech leader. India's tech evolution has been equally impressive, albeit on a different trajectory. The seeds of India's startup ecosystem were sown in the early 2000s with the rise of the IT outsourcing industry. Companies like Infosys, TCS, and Wipro not only put India on the global tech map, but also created a pool of skilled professionals. The launch of the Digital India Initiative in 2015 marked a significant turning point, aiming to transform India into a digitally empowered society. The availability of affordable internet, thanks to initiatives like Jio's 4G rollout, catalyzed the growth of digital startups. India's young, tech-savvy population embraced these digital services, driving demand and innovation. The result was a startup boom, with the number of new ventures skyrocketing. In 2021, India saw a record 46 companies achieving unicorn status, highlighting the rapid growth of its startup ecosystem. Companies like Flipkart, Byju's, Swiggy, and Nykaa emerged as leaders in e-commerce, edtech, food delivery, and beauty, respectively. This period of hypergrowth was fueled by an influx of venture capital, with Indian startups raising $42 billion in 2021. Although this was less than China's $130.6 billion, it marked a significant milestone for India. The government's supportive policies, such as Startup India and Make in India, provided the necessary boost to entrepreneurs. These initiatives aimed to simplify regulatory frameworks, offer tax benefits, and create a robust startup ecosystem. With a combination of government support, a young workforce, and a growing digital economy, India's startup scene has become a force to be reckoned with. The Chinese government's role in fostering the startup ecosystem has been both supportive and stringent. On one hand, policies like the open door policy and the establishment of startup-focused funds, known as guidance funds, have provided essential financial support to early-stage startups. China boasts over 11,000 startup accelerators and incubators, significantly more than India's 520. These institutions offer resources, mentorship, and funding opportunities, making it easier for startups to navigate the initial stages of growth. However, the Chinese government's heavy-handed regulatory approach has also created challenges. In recent years, Beijing has cracked down on tech giants to maintain social stability and address the wealth gap. Notable examples include Alibaba's $18.2 billion fine for monopolistic conduct and the restrictions imposed on Didi Chuxing following its New York Stock Exchange listing. These actions wiped out approximately $1.5 trillion in market value in 2021 alone, causing global investors to reconsider their positions. During the years 2020 and 2021, China's strict health policies further complicated matters, halting economic activities and disrupting the global supply chain. This led to factory shutdowns and shipping delays, affecting business confidence among venture capitalists. Additionally, the Chinese government's push to reshape pop culture narratives by targeting celebrities and influencers has created a less favorable environment for startups reliant on social media and digital marketing. Despite these challenges, China's startup ecosystem remains robust, supported by a strategic mix of government initiatives and private investments. The government's focus on maintaining social stability and economic growth continues to shape the regulatory landscape, impacting the future trajectory of Chinese startups. India's government has been proactive in fostering a conducive environment for startups through various initiatives and policies. The Startup India initiative, launched in 2016, aimed to build a strong ecosystem for nurturing innovation and startups in the country. It provided benefits such as tax exemptions, easier compliance, and a fast-track mechanism for patent applications. Additionally, the Atal Innovation Mission was established to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship across the country. The Digital India Initiative, which aimed to ensure that government services are made available to citizens electronically, has been instrumental in driving digital adoption. This initiative has not only improved internet penetration, but also created new opportunities for digital startups. The Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, PMMY, provided financial support to micro and small enterprises, further boosting the startup ecosystem. In recent years, the Indian government has also focused on improving infrastructure and easing regulatory frameworks. The introduction of the Goods and Services Tax, GST, streamlined the tax structure, making it easier for businesses to operate across states. Initiatives like Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat have encouraged local manufacturing and self-reliance, attracting global companies to set up operations in India. Furthermore, India's focus on improving the ease of doing business has resulted in significant improvements in global rankings. The government's efforts to simplify business processes, reduce red tape, and create a favorable investment climate have attracted foreign direct investment and venture capital. With a combination of supportive policies, a young and dynamic population, and a rapidly growing digital economy, India's startup ecosystem is poised for continued growth. China's funding landscape is characterized by significant investments from both domestic and international venture capital firms. The presence of large tech giants like Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent has created a robust ecosystem where smaller startups can thrive. These tech giants not only lead in innovation but also act as major investors, providing both financial support and strategic guidance to emerging startups. In 2021, Chinese startups raised $130.6 billion in venture capital, showcasing the immense interest and confidence that investors have in the Chinese market. The fintech sector, in particular, has seen substantial investments, with companies like Alipay, WeChat Pay, and MyBank leading the charge. The cumulative valuation of China's fintech sector exceeds $227 billion, making it one of the most significant contributors to the country's startup ecosystem. China's funding ecosystem is also supported by government-backed funds and initiatives. The establishment of guidance funds has provided essential financial resources to early-stage startups, helping them navigate the initial stages of growth. Additionally, the presence of over 11,000 startup accelerators and incubators has created a supportive environment for startups to innovate and scale. However, the regulatory crackdowns and the health policies have created uncertainties in the market. These factors have led to reduced business confidence among venture capitalists, making China a less appealing destination for investments in recent years. Despite these challenges, the overall funding landscape in China remains strong, driven by a combination of government support, strategic investments, and a thriving tech ecosystem. India's venture capital landscape has seen remarkable growth in recent years, driven by the increasing number of startups and the growing interest from both domestic and international investors. In 2021, Indian startups raised $42 billion in venture capital, marking a significant milestone for the country's startup ecosystem. While this amount is less than what Chinese startups raised, it highlights the rapid growth and potential of the Indian market. The e-commerce sector in India has been a major attraction for investors, with companies like Flipkart, Meesho, and Nykaa leading the charge. These companies have not only revolutionized online shopping in India, but also attracted substantial investment from global players. Fintech is another sector that has seen significant funding, with giants like Paytm, Razorpay, and Policybazaar setting new benchmarks. India's funding ecosystem is supported by a mix of domestic venture capital firms and international investors. The government's initiatives, such as Startup India and the Atal Innovation Mission, have played a crucial role in creating a favorable investment climate. These initiatives provide benefits like tax exemptions, easier compliance, and financial support, making it easier for startups to attract funding. The increasing number of unicorns in India is a testament to the growing investor confidence in the country's startup ecosystem. With a young, tech-savvy population and a rapidly expanding digital economy, India's venture capital landscape is poised for continued growth. This section explores the dynamics of the funding ecosystem in India, highlighting key investors, major funding rounds, and the sectors attracting the most capital. China's startup ecosystem is home to several influential players that have made a significant impact both domestically and globally. Beyond the bat giants, Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, companies like ByteDance and Shine have emerged as global leaders in their respective fields. ByteDance, known for its flagship app TikTok, has a valuation of $300 billion, making it one of the most valuable startups in the world. TikTok's global reach and popularity have solidified ByteDance's position as a dominant player in the tech industry. Shine, a leading fashion retailer, has also made a mark on the global stage. With a presence in over 200 countries, Shine's innovative business model and affordable fashion offerings have made it a favorite among consumers worldwide. Despite being banned in India, Shine continues to thrive in other markets, showcasing the resilience and adaptability of Chinese startups. Other notable players in China's startup ecosystem include Didi Chuxing, the country's largest ride-hailing app, and Xiaomi, a leading electronics and smartphone manufacturer. These companies have not only disrupted their respective industries, but also set new standards for innovation and growth. This section profiles the key players in China's startup ecosystem, examining their business models, market strategies, and global influence. India's startup ecosystem is brimming with dynamic companies that have made significant strides both locally and globally. Leading the pack are Flipkart, Byju's, Swiggy, and Nykaa, each of which has revolutionized its respective industry. Flipkart, with a valuation of $37 billion, is India's most valuable startup, dominating the e-commerce landscape and competing with global giants like Amazon. Byju's, the edtech giant, has transformed the way education is delivered in India. With a valuation exceeding $16 billion, Byju's has expanded its footprint globally, acquiring companies and entering new markets. Swiggy, a leader in the food delivery space, has not only simplified food ordering but also introduced innovative services like Swiggy Genie and Swiggy Instamart. Nykaa, a beauty and personal care e-commerce platform, has become a household name in India. Its recent IPO was a resounding success, further cementing its position as a market leader. Other notable players include Paytm, a fintech giant, and Oyo, a hospitality startup that has expanded its operations globally. This section profiles the leading startups in India, detailing their growth stories, funding journeys, and future aspirations. China's startup ecosystem is diverse, with strongholds in fintech, e-commerce, artificial intelligence, and deep tech. The fintech sector, led by companies like Alipay, WeChat Pay, and MyBank, is valued at over $227 billion, making it one of the most significant contributors to the ecosystem. These companies have revolutionized digital payments and financial services, setting new standards for innovation. E-commerce is another dominant sector, with giants like Alibaba and JD.com leading the charge. These companies have not only transformed online shopping in China, but also expanded their reach globally. The artificial intelligence sector, driven by advancements in machine learning and big data, has also seen substantial growth. Companies like Baidu and SenseTime are at the forefront of AI innovation, developing cutting-edge technologies that are being adopted worldwide. The deep tech sector, encompassing areas like robotics, biotechnology, and quantum computing, is also thriving. China's focus on research and development has resulted in significant advancements in these fields. This section delves into the top-performing sectors in China's startup ecosystem, exploring the innovations driving them and their global competitiveness. India's startup ecosystem has shown remarkable growth in sectors like e-commerce, fintech, and enterprise tech. E-commerce, led by companies like Flipkart, Meesho, and Nykaa, has seen a cumulative valuation of $85 billion. These companies have not only transformed the retail landscape in India, but also attracted significant investments from global players. The fintech sector, with 21 unicorns and a total valuation of $64 billion, is another major contributor to India's startup ecosystem. Companies like Paytm, Razorpay, and PolicyBazaar have revolutionized digital payments and financial services, making them accessible to millions of Indians. Enterprise tech, particularly in the SaaS space, has also seen substantial growth. Companies like Zoho, Freshworks, and Keka are taking India's tech presence to new heights globally. Additionally, sectors like biotechnology, agritech, and electric vehicles, EVs, are showing promising growth. India's focus on innovation and sustainability is driving advancements in these fields. This section explores the key sectors in India's startup ecosystem, highlighting their market potential and the startups leading the charge. Both India and China face unique challenges and opportunities in their startup ecosystems. China's regulatory crackdowns, health policies, and geopolitical tensions pose significant risks. However, the country's strategic investments, government support, and robust infrastructure provide a solid foundation for continued growth. The focus on artificial intelligence, deep tech, and electric vehicles presents substantial opportunities for innovation and global leadership. India, on the other hand, grapples with infrastructure issues, regulatory hurdles, and a complex business environment. Despite these challenges, India's young and dynamic population, supportive government policies, and growing digital economy create a fertile ground for startups to thrive. The focus on sectors like biotechnology, agritech, and EVs aligns with global trends towards sustainability and innovation. Both countries have the potential to shape the future of the global startup ecosystem. This section analyzes the challenges and opportunities in India and China, offering insights into the future trajectory of their startup ecosystems. So, what do you think? Will India's rapid growth outpace China's mature ecosystem, or will China continue to dominate the Asian startup landscape? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future updates. Check out the videos appearing on your screen right now for more insights and stories from the world of technology. This is the AI Lib. Stay tuned.